Hello, everybody out there, and welcome to another episode of the Talk That Talk Show with me, Barry Holmes. And I just want to thank everybody for their patience. Normally we'd be starting at 8:30, but if you don't already know, for my summer job, I picked up some extra Uber shifts, which have kind of helped me out. And originally I did start out doing deliveries, but what I have found out is doing the rides or giving a couple rides here and there has been a little bit more lucrative and more time effective for my Uber usage, right? So the one thing that I will say to you guys, and this is from someone who now drives Uber on the side, as my summer job, but the one thing that I don't like, that I understand why they don't do, but one thing that they don't do is they don't show where the destination will be once you accept the ride. So when my interface shows up, it may say, "Oh, you have a Uber ride 15 seconds away, or maybe 2 minutes away," and I hit that. It isn't until I get to that location that I find out where your destination is. And I wound up thinking that I was going to take my last fare at around 6 o'clock, get a quick little maybe 30-minute jaunt in there, and I could have made it back to do my regularly scheduled programming, literally. But what happened was, when I hit that accept button, this shit took me to the JFK airport. Now, granted, I love, driving Uber and meeting a bunch of different people. I met a couple from Finland that the guy was a pilot, and he was very enthusiastic. So if you're on this plane and you're watching, thank you so much for that ride, man. I appreciate you. You're a good person, and I hope you make it back to Finland safe. But, I had a regularly scheduled programming here. Everybody's used to 8:30. Where's Barry? Where's Talk That Talk Show? And I know I'm not big like everybody, like all these big-time celebrity podcasts, but people still care about Talk That Talk Show. And that is why, even tired, after driving 2 hours and about 2.5 hours right before the show, going to JFK, dealing with New York drivers. Do you know what driving in New York feels like, guys? Do you know what it feels like? Well, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. But what I'll say is this. I made it safe. I brought them to the airport safely. Got a pretty decent tip. Thank you so much for that, my boy. I appreciate you. And that's another thing. If you're driving Uber, if you're ordering any Uber foods, if you're getting an Uber drive, someone's taking your drunk ass home from the bar, just give a tip. Even if it's $1, $2, these people are sacrificing their time, right, to take you to where you need to go, right? So I think at the bare minimum, the least that you can do is show a little bit of gratitude. Because what I've seen on my end is, the assumed gratitude doesn't come as much as you would like, man. So when you have people that, you take 2.5 hours before your recorded podcast to get that little bit of appreciation, it means the world. So I appreciate you a lot for that. But literally, got done with the ride, dropped them off at, the airport, right at Terminal 8, and I was right back trying to make it back to Jersey so that I could come here and record this podcast. And like I said, because people care, because people want to know what's going on with Talk That Talk Show, that is why it's important for me to come out here and make sure that I deliver the episode to you. I had a neck injection this weekend. I am stiff. I don't feel my greatest, but even through that, you still got to try and find a way to get it done, man. And, each time I go there, I definitely am nervous. I don't like the feeling, directly afterwards. But when you know that something is going to help you to get better, and Dad and everybody knows that Tuesday, Wednesday, when I start to feel real loose, the strikes start coming. You know what I'm saying? So when you loosen the pain a little bit, things start to feel a little bit better, obviously. So, had the injection today. Everything went well. Big shout out to my girlfriend, Doc, for always taking me and doing everything that I need to do and making sure I get to, the place safe and make sure I get home safe. So, I appreciate her. And even through waiting in that lobby, waiting for me to come out, she's still they didn't bring you back yet? I'm here. I'm here when you're ready, So just, having that person that cares, and make you not have to go through something alone. That's why I'm always appreciative of her. But, through a neck injection, through a 2.5-hour Uber ride to JFK, through a long beach day. Big shout out to Jeff for coming to the beach with me and Doc. But through all that, it is still important for me to come deliver you guys an episode of the Talk That Talk show. And big shout out to my boy TK, who says health is wealth. His new nickname is going to be Mr. Re-Rate. And if you know about that. We got Ish who says, yeah, but if I taking you from Jersey to New York, I better get at least a $5 tip. Yeah, at the bare minimum, Ish. $5 at least give me a little bit in the tank, right? But what I will say is this. It's been a long, eventful 21 episodes since the 200th episode. And I don't know if anybody knows, but I feel like I've really weighted the shoulders of trying to provide high quality programming for you guys. And, it wasn't until having a couple conversations with my buddies that I realized that, damn, I went 21 episodes without having a guest on the show. And a bunch of different ideas came into my mind as far as who I wanted to have be the first guest on the show in the 200s period, because we have the 100 period, we have the before hundreds, and now we're at the 200 period, right? So we haven't had a guest since I've had the 200th episode. And when it came down to it, I've talked and mentioned this guy before in previous episodes, but one of the things that really, puts a battery in my chest or really gets me going is when you have someone that truly supports you and is there for some of your milestones and to see the growth within you and your game. And, I had a big time matchup this past week, and it was just amazing to have Rob there and literally to see me be triumphant and accomplish something that really meant a lot to me. And I think it extends beyond just that day, but literally anything with this podcast where I felt like I had a great episode. He hits me up and tells me about what he's feeling and how he likes it. And I think that, that feedback and that type of support, it truly enables you to do anything and be able to conquer any type of feat or anything of that nature. So when it came down to who was going to be the guest on the show, it was without a doubt that I had to make this episode an old school one. So please, everyone give a big round of applause for my boy, Rob Brantley.
Barry B.
Come on, man.
Let me get in here.
Yeah.
My bones is old. I gotta don't pop the table. What's going on, family?
Oh man, it's good to have you on the show, man.
Good to be here.
For those people that don't know, can you kind of just explain to him, Rob? How did we even cross paths, man? I feel like I've known you forever, but how did we cross paths?
Well, CJ actually, CJ is dating my daughter, and I think we was bowling one time. We ran into your pops, and you guys was just in old Carolina, y'all was practicing and things like that. So we just started kicking it like that. But I think the one memory I have of me and you meeting was we was in a league together.
Majestic.
We was in Majestic.
Saturday night.
And
straight killers.
And we were going at it. Both shot for shot. And I ended up beating you by one pin. Serious. And I hold on to that.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I've done that yet. I hold on to that one pin, and that would be the only, that's what you would tell me every time you see that one fucking pin.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
But you know what? I think that it was a great time for us to kind of start because, that kind of just showed just how competitive we both were. And if I remember that story, I was hyped because I was in the, I shot pretty well and I was in the bar And somebody asked me, he was like, "What'd you shoot?" I think I was like, I think I shot like 620 or something. And you're like, "Well, Chip, I shot 622." And I never forget that. I'm like, "You got me by one pin, man."
That was a good day for me, man. I was enjoying the hell out that day.
It's one for us.
Exactly, one for the old heads, man. This is young buck. He was killing. Look, I had to put in some work. It wasn't no run on. I had to put in some work. But that was a good day for me, man.
And I'd say this though, Rob. I think that another reason why I think we're very competitive and why we kind of have aligned to kind of share that same space is that I feel like me and you definitely kind of bowl with a chip on our shoulders. You know what I'm saying? So what do you feel like that means to have that chip on your shoulder when you go on there?
To me, that means like you got to walk into, and I was telling your dad a story. I'll tell you a story a little later on. But when you walk into these houses, you know what I'm saying, and you see these people, and you can tell they look at you and they underestimate you because you look at me. I'm a little older, so they'll be like, "Oh well, this old head can't really bowl." So I go in there with that chip because I'm like, "Yeah, I'm about to bust your ass." And when it happens, I smile and walk away. I just smile and wave. You know what I'm saying? But to have that chip makes me, practice. We talked about practice a little earlier. Me and your pops was having a conversation that walking into that house, you can't just walk in there once a week. You got to go out there and practice, get your stuff tight. So having that chip makes me want to do those things, go out and practice. So,
and I think that part of the reason that makes us really enjoy or embrace the moment of that big time is the division that we bowl in, right? And for those that don't know, we call that almost like the death division because nobody wants to stay in that division. So can you explain what it's like bowling in that division and where our pride comes from with that?
Listen, we bowl in one of the toughest divisions. We've already had like 4 of our teams went to the playoffs this year. That team, you can't come in that goddamn division slot. You got to bring your A game. You got to bring your A game. But the one thing I love about it is that we could have easily, our team, DIY, love my family. Well, we could have been like, oh, nah, we're going to go somewhere else. Because if we go to another division, we number one in any other division. But we want to fight. If we're going to win, we're going to win in this division.
Facts.
Because we want to go against we want to be the best, so we're going to have to beat the best. And look, there's 8 teams in there? And all 8 of them teams are killers. All up and down their lineup. They second squad is killers.
No, that's a fact. Because I remember when we went to Jersey Lanes, we didn't get their A lineup, but they smacked us like an A lineup team, But I think that, again, the fact that we never back down and the fact that we're always grinding, always putting our best foot forward. You got, leaders like CJ, Tripp, Lenny's kind of, came up the ranks as well, too. We got some key additions, Sam, a couple also free agency, Chewy, a couple other people. So, with the additions that we've made to the team and kind of the way you've seen the summer has went, how excited are you to see DIY next season?
Ready to get back out there, bro. Because I think we got, we already had a team that I felt that was able to hang with some of these cats. But now, with the new additions that we have, and I think we can make some noise this year. So I'm excited for, I think our first one's September 23rd?
Yeah, I think it's a Lodi.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
Yeah, man. I can't wait to go back out there and just support my squad. With the new additions, like I said, I'm more of your, how would you call it? Not a scrap. I'm your handicap bowler.
Yes.
So, if I can just be there to support my squad, and I know we talk about that a lot in DIY, it's nice to be out there when, you turn around and you got people that's there, got your back.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So even if that's all I can do for my squad this year, that's what I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there and just support.
And I think that it goes a long way for us, Rob, because what I've seen is, in you supporting me, I've had some of my most memorable moments, and I definitely want to bring it back to Tuesday because I want to set the scene for people, and I want you to kind of describe what it was like on your end of watching it. But literally on Tuesday, another similar situation. I mean, I feel like every week we got to battle and just battle to the death. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I beat, we beat TK and Tori, but not by much last week. Mm-hmm. And it's like, congratulations, go bowl against this next challenger. And we're giving up so many sticks. And what wound up happening was, we lost the first. I think we won the first game.
You won the first game. The second game you guys lost.
Second game we lost. But that third game, it was looking real grim.
Right.
But in the 8th, 9th, and 10th frame, I wound up striking out to win by 14 pins. And the exhilaration within myself to come off of, not placing at Dougie Vision, but now in league, stepping up when needed to get the win, it was just the best feeling. But from your end, someone that was supporting me, what did that look like from your end, man?
Yo, that was incredible because it's like, they always say when you get up there and you got to throw that strike to win. You know how heavy that is on somebody's heart? Like, okay, so you fighting for the win, not only the win, but you also had to get wood, so pause. But I remember, like after you threw that second strike, you like, yeah, we got wood. I was like, yeah. Pause, Barry. But you know what I'm saying? But that takes a lot of heart because that's the hardest thing to do, bro. So you're trying to win the game and plus get back the points. So for me, it was proud because it's my DIY brother out there helping his team get over that hump. It was good to, a good close friend that, just achieving something, having some success is what, I really thought about. It was a good time, bro. It was a good time. And I was glad I was there for it.
And I was so glad you were there too, because we definitely had some celebratory beers after. I was like, yo, give my boy a beer, man. But I mean, again, when you have someone that believes in you, I mean, I can look to my dad when, if I want to incite him or if I want to get my best out of him, I'll just pick at him. I'm like, man, you suck, man. Look at this stinky, rinky dink average. And then he'll just come out and just blow the doors off me. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, I have this way of trying to, influence people or trying to get the most out of people. And it's good when it's on the other end for me where I need a little boost or I need a little motivation. And you guys give me that. So I appreciate you guys so much, especially you, Rob, because, I mean, like I said, from our first battle, man, we've become, real tight when it comes to this DIY and just bowling and even beyond that, man. There's times where, Saturday morning, you hit me up, we talk, I'm like, yo, these Mets suck right now. What's going on, man?
It's always good to have somebody, a confidant you could just reach out to and talk, even when it's outside, like you said, the bowling and just, hey, what do you think? Let me just run this past you, you know what I mean?
Facts.
So it's always good to have that. So, and that's, I'm glad I got somebody like that I can talk to. I love talking to your pops, we around the same age and stuff, so we can talk about all that good stuff. The story, I wanted to share the story real quick. So I was telling your pops when I first moved out here from the Bronx, I started bowling and, got my start bowling in New York. I was going out there just to drink, whatever. And I had an old time come to me, he's like, hey, listen, if you want to get better, get your own equipment, whatever, so you get better. I got a little better. We moved out here to Jersey. I ain't no niggas out here bowling in Jersey. I came out here with that New York, man, ain't no niggas really bowling out here in Jersey. So I was like, all right, cool, whatever. So I was in this first league. Sunday, I remember it was Sunday night at 6 o'clock. I was like, yeah, I'm going to fuck these niggas up. I get on the lane, bunch of old people out there. I was like, oh, I'm about to fuck them up. I forgot this cat's name. He threw that first shot. I said, uh-oh, I'm in trouble.
When you see that first flush one, you were like,
ooh. Matter of fact, I bowled with the bleacher's father. Mm-hmm. I forgot his name, but you know the family I'm talking about.
Yep.
I saw him throw. I was like, oh, damn. I was like, all right, well, cool, whatever. Then we went Friday. We was in another family league, and that was when they had a parallel where they had the it was the all men's. They was both like 15,000 was the top prize on the top of the house. And I just poked my head up there, and I was like, oh no, this ain't gonna work, brother. You gotta get better. Yeah. So ever since then, I went from I came out here with that strike. I'm about to fuck these niggas up. They ain't gonna get fuck. Yeah, I was like, nah, bro. You
got some work to do.
You got some work to do.
That was the Friday night majors.
The Friday night majors. Exactly.
It's so funny you say that because so many times we like judge a book by its cover sometimes. And I think the way that happened to me was I thought I was hot shit. So it was freshman year of college. So I'll tell two stories. But first one, freshman year of college, right? I took a racquetball class, right? And I'm like, yeah, I'm tough. Can't nobody in my racquetball class beat me. So I'm like, yeah, I'm tough, right? I came back, from break, and I'm at LA Fitness, and I see these old, crusty looking dudes, man. I'm talking about these dudes look like they should be playing shuffleboard. You know what I'm saying? With the high socks, pants up to the nipples. These how old these dudes look.
On the floor. And I came in on.
The one did, and it wasn't even Nike. I think it was like
just something that just said sweatpants.
Yeah. It might not even said nothing, but it was just picture old dude. Old dude. Maybe the type of dude you might see at LA Fitness change where you're like, whoa, that old. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I go up in there and I'm thinking I'm tough. I got my glove, I got the eyeglasses. I think I'm tough. And when I kid you, I didn't even score a point.
Wow.
Didn't even score a point against those dudes. And they were just, and I'm just like going left and right. I'm like, how are these guys not moving? You know what I'm saying? I can't get them to move. But, they just had that understanding of the game way beyond my skill level.
Exactly.
So I understand what you mean there, where it's like you judge that book, but you get that butt kicked one time, you're like, man, I want to play again.
You humble real quick, and that, and it goes back to just when you see something like that again, to go back into practice, it's like you want to go back, you want to get better. You know what I'm saying? You have to get better. And then I was like, I had that even like I shot against CJ when he was younger. Because, he been with my daughter for a long time. And I was like, oh, hell, these little niggas, I'm about to buy that. I was like, he put it on. I was like, come on, bro. You can't be losing to like a 17-year-old.
From an 80-year-old to a 17-year-old.
You know what I'm saying? But he humbled me. And it was like, dude, if you want to keep up, you're going to have to do something about it.
Yeah.
So,
and I think that, that's kind of like what happened to me when I took that third place on Dougie. Like, I felt good. I felt like I was ready. But to take that next step, what are you going to do when someone has 6 in a row on you? Like, are you going to strike with them? So again, it's like that next level stuff of being humbled. And then the first thing that we did after that was get right back to the lab and practice. Right. I'll never forget another time. I actually told this story to TK not too long ago about how I was humbled. And it was in league, and it was a long time ago. And I think it was because we were bringing up who some of our favorite old bowlers were. And somebody brought up Mike Reisner. And the funniest, most humbling story that I guess I could say early on in my bowling career was I go up against him in league, and he's subbing. And for some reason, I just had it better that night. I beat him with handicap, and I was just feeling myself. I'm like, oh, man, I beat Mike Reisner. My dad said this guy's so tough. And he literally goes up to me. He says, congratulations. You want to bowl me for 500?
No.
And he absolutely chumped me. I was like, damn, I'm not that nice, bro. So I'll never forget that.
He called you out. I was like, all right, good
game.
Yeah.
I suck. That's pretty much just like, I suck.
I bowl you $500.
Right? Needless to say, I did not present the $500. But like you said, it's those humbling experiences that you need that either get you back in the gym, like get you back in the lab, or you fold.
Right.
One of the things that my dad always says, he might bowl like Dickie Doo-Doo one day, but he always says you're only good as your last game. And if his last game isn't the greatest, he always is going to practice. You know what I'm saying? He might go see Parr, you know what I'm saying, and go bowl with Parr. Or he's going to get some practice in Jersey Lakes with the old dudes, like the Jimmy Charleses of the legends, you know what I'm saying? So, Pops is always a proponent of getting to the lab. So, I've seen, you get to the lab, Rob, and there's some days we had scheduled some practice, and look at the growth in our games, man. I mean, can't nobody say you haven't got better. Can't nobody say that I haven't gotten better.
Listen, I'm starting to pick up 10 pins, bro, and I'm like,
we talked
about
that
I was like, I remember that I got that ball from CJ as as a Christmas present or birthday present. I forgot which one. But we would bowl together, and I guess he got tired of me missing 10 pins. He was like, dude, here's a plastic ball. Learn to throw this goddamn ball. You know? So, and I'm, not for nothing, I've been picking up 10 pins. I'm like, all right, cool. I was telling you, Pops, another thing, like where I work at, they got a bowling alley right next door. So I'm over there at lunchtime, bro.
Yeah, just get some lunch rest. You know what I'm saying?
I'm tired of these young people running over me like this, Pops. I can't have it no more.
We gotta hang, man.
I can't have it no more, bro.
I say the same thing.
Hey, well, the thing is, you're putting in the work, and can't nobody say you didn't earn your DIY stripes, man, because we wouldn't be where we are without you. But what I will say is this, Rob, you got a tall task. Because you joined the Talk That Talk Show Fantasy League.
Oh, I ain't worried about y'all.
Oh!
I ain't worried about y'all.
So early predictions, Rob. 1 to 12, where are you placing in the Talk That Talk Show Fantasy League?
I'm coming in first.
Woo!
I'm coming in first, bro.
That's what
and look, and then after the season's over, right, when I win, I'm going to come back on this show. And I'm going to bring my championship belt and be like, I told y'all I was coming in first.
Ooh. Hey, we got TK who said, ooh, he got his attention, man.
I'm talking to you too, TK. You can get it too, man. You ready for the draft? And see, I know you was trying to get me to tell you who I'm picking.
Okay, yeah.
I can't do it. I don't know where I'm going to fall in. Nah, I can't have that. Unless I'm getting the first pick. I might, I don't know where I'm at in that lineup, like when I get the pick, so.
All right, so how about this? There's a lot of different philosophies.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of different principles on what people like to pick if they have the first pick. Mm-hmm. Are you a guy that would say, hey, I'm going with the quarterback? Or are you a guy that says, hey, this is PPR, I'm going wide receiver? Or are you a guy that say, hey, running backs are hard to get good ones? Which one would you go with if you have that first pick?
Absolutely. PPR league, all day I'm going wide receiver. All day going wide receiver. We had a draft Saturday, and the guy had the first pick, and he picked McCaffrey. I'm like, all right, cool. I was second, and I was like, he kind of threw the draft off because everybody thought Justin Jefferson was rated number 1. He was, so he picked McCaffrey. I was like, wow, you just going to leave Justin out there? I was like, grabbed him up.
Yeah.
I think I got like 8 wide receivers, bro, for this draft. I'm like, nah, PPR, that's where I'm going.
Yeah.
That's where I'm going.
And a lot of times, if you can stack up like that, you can get yourself some trade capital to get yourself some better looks too, man.
And that's what I be trying to do. I'm like, if I need a running back, I'm like, all right, cool. If I need a running back, I got enough receivers where I can just trade for one, and I'll be all right. Running backs are serviceable. You'll be all right.
Hey,
you'll be all right.
I say this, Rob. You're a very knowledgeable guy, and if you ask me, I think Rob is my sleeper to potentially take a top 4 spot in this fantasy league. We got a lot of competitors in here, and the one thing that I do like about our fantasy league with people like TK, people like Jeff, you got people that do the research, man. So if there's a hole out there. Pause, they're going to find it. I just knew how that was going to sound. But
between
I had
the wood and the hole, bro. Come on, man.
But, hey, we're having a good time here, Rob. I thank you so much, as always.
You, man.
I am going to ask you one thing, though, especially because, we talk about this before, and we talk about, the importance of just having goals, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, me saying, hey, you were there to see one of my big accomplishments, striking out when I needed it, and just getting over the hump. What's something that you want to accomplish this year with your bowling game?
Well, I thought, when you was going, I was like, do I want to accomplish that 300? I was like, if I can accomplish anything this year with my bowling, is that to improve my average by at least 10 pins.
Okay.
So right now I am at 195. So if I can go up those 10 pins and get to that 205, that'd be good for me this year. Mm-hmm. And then just go further than that. You know what I mean? So my ultimate goal is to get on that scratch pair.
Okay.
That's the ultimate goal, bro.
All right.
That's the ultimate goal.
I've only had one DIY scratch appearance.
You went there one time, so.
And I shot 660. So, but you know what? sometimes when you don't think you can do it, you know. I remember I was scared to shit. I remember telling my dad, like, yo, they want me on scratch. I don't know if I could do it. He goes, they don't even sound like you, man. Like, he's like, what's wrong with you? You better go out there and work. And sure enough, I mean, I don't think we got the win, but, you know, I think that 660 was one of the higher sets that I had on DIY, and it was on the scratch pair. So, you know, if I can do it, Rob, you can do it.
Oh, I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there.
And I say this, your goals is kind of similar to mine, because my dad's always telling me, yo, Barry, take the sand out of your pocket. Stop sandbagging. Nobody wants to accept I'm a 198, so I want to take the next step with you. Let's both be 205s by the end of the year. You know?
Yeah, let's get it.
Hey, CJ, you heard it. Strike tight. We're going to try and be 205s by the end of the season.
That's right. And after that, we want to battle. You at CJ and your pops. Bring your pops against me and Barry.
Oh.
Let's get it.
Okay.
That sounds like a good bet there.
You know what I mean? Come on, man.
Hey, that'd be fun. That'd be a lot of fun, man.
That's right.
And that's also, and again, I love the fact that we can compete, push each other, and just want the best for each other. I think CJ put LMFAO.
Hey, look, and I say that because, like, those two guys are killers on our squad. You know
super
what I mean?
killers. Super.
And that's, at this point, that's who I want to bowl against.
Mm.
You know what I'm
bowl
saying?
against the best.
I don't want to bowl against somebody that I feel like, nah, let's bowl. Because if I beat them, you know what kind of weight that holds?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We
So-
got, besides weed, what the fuck did y'all smoke? Oh, man. Hey, you know what? You gotta love it, man. That's why they're the heart and soul of our team.
Yeah.
But, you know, you gotta love the heart we have, too, man. We ain't scared of nobody,
That's right.
but at the same time, we like to challenge each other.
That's right.
But one thing I do want to ask you, I want to take you to other side of things here, Rob. You know, we're diehard Mets fans.
Yes, sir.
Which means we can objectively talk about the Yankees, right?
Yes, we can.
So I had a good question that was presented to me over the week that I want to ask you.
Okay.
And I also want to ask anyone else out there, too, so you can put your opinion, because we know there's a lot of Yankee fans out there. I want to hear your opinion on this one, all right? Someone told me and asked me the question, who do I think deserves to be fired more? The manager, Aaron Boone, or the GM, Brian Cashman? So I asked this to you, Rob, after seeing the terrible play from the Yankees that we're not accustomed to seeing too often. Who do you think deserves the blame? Is it the manager or the GM of the Yankees, Mr. Cashman?
It's funny you asked that question because we had this conversation when we went to the Sunset Patriots, who was an affiliate of the Yankees, and we was talking to one of the guys. Me and CJ was going down on the field to do something, and he asked the same question: who do you think should get fired? And I straight out told him I think it had to be Cashman. And the only reason why I say that is because Boone is only going to play with the people you give him.
Facts.
You know, you're not going to fire the carpenter when you gave him a pencil to try to build you a house. You're going to fire the person that supplied him with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if anybody would need to go, I think you have to go get rid of Cashman.
I have to agree with you.
You know, for me, it's kind of silly because it's like, yo, when he made those trades, when he brought all them people over, the only one I questioned was Donaldson. Like, you knew he was hurt. Why would you still, Minnesota gave him up so quick. Like, why would you go that far? But you can't fault him for DJ LeMahieu. He was in a batting average race the year before.
That's a fact.
Who else on their squad? Like Aaron Judge just hit 6. He got hurt, so there's not much you can do with that. But I mean, I know it's easy, I think, to get rid of the manager. Because he's the face of the team, so to speak. But yeah, if you're gonna get rid of somebody, it's got to be Cashman.
I have to agree with you, Rob, because at the end of the day, like you said, how can I make water? How can I make wine out of water if you didn't even give me nothing to make? You know what I'm saying? I got no water. So you know what I'm saying? So I think that you're right in the sense that we can look back at the history of all the terrible Cashman signings. I mean, do you guys remember Jacoby Ellsbury?
Right.
I mean, that guy barely ever was in a Yankee uniform and didn't produce.
No.
did we forget about Giancarlo Stanton,
who
made over $50 million from games he did not play in? He made over $50 million on the Yankees in games he did not play.
Right.
And if you think about it, that $50 million could have been allotted to maybe helping the farm system of the Yankees so that you don't have to spend big on some of these big name guys and then have them bust. So I have to agree with you in the fact that Cashman has set them up for financial failure and also systematic failure.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you are not prioritizing restocking your farm system, look what the Mets did. We're bashing them, but we got hella picks that are going to infuse the farm system.
As a Met fan, I think they should keep both Cashman.
Keep up the track. Keep up the dookie.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But
that I mean, even the Giancarlo signing, you know, he was coming off an MVP year when they got him. They wasn't expecting that big dude to break down like that. You know, because when they signed Giancarlo, they couldn't get in the race with Bryce Harper or Manny Machado.
Yeah.
You know. Now is Manny Machado doing you would take Manny Machado numbers over Giancarlo any goddamn day. So I think right now it's just unfortunate for them. And being a Met fan, am I relishing in the fact that we're both in last? Hell yeah. We together.
Yeah. You know?
We together in this. You know, New York gonna rise.
And I think a lot of times too, man, you know, we get ragged on because, you know, we're not making the playoffs, but I think the expectations from a Yankee fan are so high that when you have a season like this, you would have thought they hadn't made the playoffs in years. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when you're used to success and when you're used to having things go your way, like the Yankee way, you know, it's hard to see them lose like this. But again, I'm happy to see it. I know you are. But how are we going to get our Mets better? What do you think needs to happen for our Mets to get better?
We need to restock our pitching, our rotation, obviously, but in the pen. Because if you watch the Mets this year, the Mets lost a lot of games that we had leads and we just couldn't hold them.
Facts.
So we have to get better in that area. Because I mean, our team, if you look at it, we're solid as far as like our hitting. You know, Polar Bear doing his thing, Lindor catching his stride, and then that young cat, the catcher, the Alvarez.
Yeah, Francisco Alvarez.
So you know, we good, and you know, in the field, it's just our bullpen. And now, I mean, we gave away. Everybody got on us for getting rid of Verlander and Scherzer, but I'm like, dude, this is a bunch of old dogs we had to put out the pasture.
Yeah.
You know.
So
now we got to get, you know, so now we got to do something with our bullpen.
Yeah.
You know.
And I think getting Edwin Diaz back would help too.
Absolutely.
You know?
Because there were some games that if he was there, we could have closed out. But, you know, once that happened, I think we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
And I agree with you, man, because a lot of people are ready to jump ship on the Mets, but I say this. I was clowning that dude, DJ, what's his name? The pinch runner, DJ Stewart. I was making fun of him. I'm like, look at this bum. All he can do is run. And he's been hitting. He's been hitting the ball. So, again, like we said, you know, we take for granted these guys or we judge a book by its cover.
Right.
But who's to say that the moves that the Mets have made won't pan out for us?
Exactly.
You know?
When seasons go like this is when you get an opportunity to see what these young kids can do.
Oh yeah.
You know, so now you are cool. We got a little spot for him now. You know, he got some pop in his bat. So and left-hand hitter. Come on, man. You need that. So I'm listen. I'm not jumping ship from the Mets, and if you are jumping ships now, then you haven't suffered a long time with the Mets. I've already suffered a long time with them. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna see this through. It's just I would just tell everybody out there in New York, if you're looking, look at the camera, look right here. Yeah. Stay away from the George Washington Bridge because the Yankee fans is about to start jumping.
Oh, I love that. I might have to clip that for a preview.
Yankee fans, and if my man Lenny is watching, man, listen, nothing but love, brother. We love you. You know, but please stay away from the George Washington Bridge. It's gonna be all right, brother.
I love that. Hey, I love that, Rob. But you know what? I think that another good thing that we have going with, the big thing with sports And the big thing about us being big time sports fanatics, we kind of touched earlier, but we didn't talk specifically about your favorite team. How excited are you for those New York Giants this season?
Oh my God, I can't wait for the season to start, man.
It's only like a week away, right?
Yeah, man, I can't wait. So we got a big one coming up Sunday night against the Dallas Cowboys. It's home game, but yeah, I think we just need protection. All right, so we improved a lot tight end wise. We got Darren Waller. If he stays healthy.
Stud.
Oh my God!
Pause, but
if he stays healthy, you know what I'm saying. If Hodgins has at least somewhat the same kind of production he had last year, he can come in. He can be that one wide receiver that we need to stretch the field. And like again, Saquon right now is playing for his livelihood.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So he's trying to get that McCaffrey money. Yeah. So he should be able to put on some kind of production this year. Should be great. I just want to see Danny Dimes upright.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You can't throw touchdowns from your back.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So if our line shows up, which I think they will, I'm very excited about them this year. And again, CJ and Mr. Strike Tyson, we had a bet last year on if your Atlanta Falcons would have a better record than mine last year, and I think I won that.
Ooh.
So I think we're gonna go ahead and run that back, double or nothing. I still think we're gonna have a better year than y'all. What's your quarterback's name? He was working at a grocery store. What's his name? Kenny Pickett.
Oh man,
what in the grocery store? So when y'all ready, we can go back at that and run that back because I know my Giants is definitely gonna have a better year than y'all.
All right. So hey, in saying that they're gonna have a better year, what do you think the Giants' chances are of winning the division? And if not the Giants, who is the Giants' biggest competitor in that NFC East?
Well, you always got right now. Your top dog is Philly. I'm sorry, Philly is a powerful squad. I don't think we'll win the division. We'll probably get in the wild card, but I think that we're closer to the Dallas Cowboys. You know what I'm saying? Like the Dallas Cowboys can be a great team if Dak can stop throwing the ball to the wrong person. That'd be fine. But I think with the improvements that we made this year, we're a little bit closer to them. I'm not really worried too much about Washington. Mm-hmm. Even though they did get that, what's his name? Sam Howell, I think is his quarterback.
Yeah,
Sam Howell. I watched the he had a preseason game. Boy got a little arm though.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? So I know people is not giving the NFC East as a whole, except for Philadelphia, a chance to be anywhere good. But I think right now, our biggest competition is going to be the top dogs, Philly.
Yeah.
I think we can hang with Dallas and Washington. Philly's the one we're going to have to do something with.
I think that, a lot of people are investing a lot of stock in the new coordinators that they have over in Philly. But I think when you have a system that works the way that it does, where they run the ball and they run it down your face, I think it creates tempo issues that a lot of people can't match with. But the New York Giants are one of those teams that I truly think can match tempo-wise with the Eagles. I mean, maybe they just, lack a little bit on, the wide receiver end outside of Waller. But I think that they have enough with Saquon and Darren Waller to get them over the hump, man. I mean, are they going to be a top offense? Probably not. Yeah. But I think it's going to be good enough to beat some people in that division, man. I really do.
They can turn some heads this year. They really can turn some heads. I mean, listen, Philly got them dogs out there in the wide receiver with Devontae Smith and your boy from, what's the other receiver name?
A.J. Brown.
They're a bunch of killers, bro. You got to pick your poison with them, too. Mm-hmm. And then you got to worry about Jalen Hurts running all over the field on you. So, we'll be okay. But like you said, we're not going to be – I don't think we'll be the top offensive, but we'll be enough to get us through.
Yeah,
enough to get us through. Well, be enough to win that bet again, sirs.
Oh, he said pay up. But, I want to thank you once again, Rob, for coming here.
Yeah, I appreciate you, brother.
Absolutely rocking out the show. One of the things that I like to do, with guests, I know we haven't done in a while, but I like to give everyone a chance to give a piece of word of advice. Doesn't have to be bowling related, but for the viewers out there, for maybe my dude who's on his plane to Finland right now, what is a piece of advice, or what's something that you can help our viewers be a little bit better tomorrow than they were today?
There's a quote that I read that from Babe Ruth. It said, "Never let the fear of striking out make you afraid to try." You know what I'm saying? So, no matter where you may think, people may, oh, you're not good enough, or you may feel you're not good enough. The only way you ever find out how good you really are is to give it a shot. Now, I don't want to make it bull related, but I remember when CJ asked me, say, "Hey, you want to be on this DIY squad?" I was like, I don't know if my skills is up to what this UBA is about. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to go out there and give it my best, and I'm going to do what I need to do. So, again, never be afraid to fail. That's the only way we learn.
Mm-hmm.
Facts. So, and I mean, is a great build off what we say Strike Tyson says all the time.
Yeah.
You don't lose, you learn. You know?
Learn. Absolutely.
I think that, if I was afraid, of that thing that was beating in my chest in that 10th frame, we would have lost.
There's no way you make those. No way you make that shot, bro.
No way. And to have people that believe in you, to believe in you when sometimes you don't even believe in yourself. To give yourself a chance. I mean, last week's episode was called "Give Yourself a Chance" because we gave ourselves a chance, and we saw what happened when you actually do believe. Right. So, I think that quote, it holds tremendous weight because, so many times people think of the what ifs. What if somebody doesn't listen to my podcast? What if someone doesn't download it? What if they don't like my shirt? What if they don't think that I'm cool? These are all the things that could potentially derail me from my intended purpose, right. But it's pushing past that and understanding why we're here, which helps you to see through. I mean, you got to see through the carpet warriors, right? The people that are out here talking shit but have no value in what you're doing,
Yes. It's always the people on the other side of the camera talking about, oh, your show sucks. Oh, okay. What's your show name?
Right?
Shit show.
It's always the people on the other side. Always, like you see somebody doing something and you want to put them down because you're too afraid to try it. So it's like, hey, whatever.
Hey, we've seen a lot of people try podcasting and stop because you run out of material. It's too hard. I have a different schedule. Man, I think it might either been mom or somebody said it, but people make time for the things they want to do.
Absolutely.
If you truly want to do something, you gonna make some time. You know what I'm saying? And when it comes down to it, Rob, I wanted you here. You wanted to be here. People wanted this show. And that's why we're here, because we want to give people what they want. At the same time, I wanted to make sure that when it came down to having a guest on this show to break open the 200 saga, I thought it was necessary to have you here because you've done nothing but support me here on the show. So, in closing, what does Talk That Talk Show mean to you, Rob?
Listen, Talk That Talk Show is a dude determined to do whatever he needs to do to get his message to the world. You don't care about, what this person thinking, what that person thinking. Talk that talk. Why? Because I can.
I like that. Why? Because I can. All right. And on that note, I appreciate you so much, Rob. Thank you so much for coming here on the show. Guys, another episode's in the book, 222. Please check us out at talkthattalkshow.com. You can check us out on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, you name it, we are on it. And just hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. We appreciate all support. Big shout out to Rob for coming on here and rocking the mic and just supporting me whenever I need you, man.
Doubt, brother.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure, man.
This is the Talk That Talk Show.
Talk That Talk!
And we are out of here.